yes, indeed. Just the sun rising. We are here to do the Nudelberg Daily Huddle every single day, bright and early. Good morning, everybody. Glad to see that everybody got the memo. Jules, where's your black t-shirt?
No black t-shirt for him yet. He's still in his PJs. Welcome back. Monday through Friday, 7:58 a.m. Here's where you can find us.
Yesterday was fun-filled. We missed you, but I gotta tell you, your brother laid down the tracks.
I know I didn't get an opportunity to watch the episode yet, but you guys were raving about it at lunch, and I'm looking forward to being able to watch it. I can tell you that I got his debrief of the trip, just one-on-one with him, and it sounded like an awesome time. So I'm sure that it translated very well on the show. And yesterday was a great day. So unfortunately, I was not on the show to be a part of that, but I was at the Broward Workshop breakfast.
There would not have been enough microphone space. So
Yeah.
the guy laid it down. I mean, poise and greatness. But you were taking care of business. You are representing the next generation. You also at the Broward Workshop.
It was fantastic. Number one, it's a really great organization, and every time I go to the breakfast, they do a great job of putting up the scoreboard, and they're keeping track of all of the numbers that really matter, but some ones that are really important, such as the third grade reading level, which unfortunately is still declining.
Crazy.
Declining statewide and declining within Broward County. So if you are unaware of the problem that's coming for the next generations, it's the fact that skilled labor is going to continue to climb, right? We're going to have to continue to upskill, and the level of literacy that you're going to need to continue to be successful is going up. It's not going down yet. Yeah. Is Mama home? Is she home yet? I don't think so.
He definitely has something to say.
So if that's happening, right? The problem, don't say that word. The problem is that if the third grade reading level is declining, we're creating a very, very large gap for the next generation to have to try to hurdle in order to be successful. So if you're unaware of the problem, you should make yourself aware of the problem. And if you'd like to get involved with helping the problem, I happen to be a part of a great organization, the Russell Education Foundation, which provides reading rooms all around South Florida and provides resources to elementary school kids to help them overcome reading challenges and help rise the literacy rate. So we got a great pickleball event happening this weekend, which anybody who's interested in pickleball should come be a part of it. But that was a downer a bit yesterday. Now, what saved the event and brought it right back was that the breakfast was all about AI and how we can implement it into our business. Manish put an unbelievable panel together of experts to speak on the topic and led the discussion, was the moderator for the panelists, and just did an incredible job asking questions, pulling out nuggets. And I'm excited to go to an event of his in December that's going to be around artificial intelligence, because what the takeaway was from that panel was that we are repeating the mid-90s internet boom. It is the wild, wild west right now, and there's so much opportunity to learn and grow, but the only way to really learn and grow with it right now is to be experimenting with it, is to be trying it, is to be using it the way people did in the internet. And so you're going to have those early adopters, and you're going to have the people who grab huge market share early because they're willing to try it and not going, whoa, this is crazy, I'm not going to do it. So it was a really great breakfast.
I'm glad. What is the function of the Broward Workshop? Why don't you share? Because that is a very elite group. That's a group of people that you can only be invited to it. So why don't you share what that is?
The Broward Workshop are the people, I would say the businesses of South Florida and the South Florida business leaders who work to create policy changes to better South Florida, particularly Broward County. So these are people that work in the private sector that work with the government sector to try to create policies that make sense and help the county grow, and talking about, topics like artificial intelligence, and then understanding how there's going to be policies and how that's going to affect us as an economy in South Florida was really fantastic.
Unreal. Great job. Way to represent. I know you are carrying the torch with that. So that's really good stuff. And then at lunch, I posted this week that I actually reread my book, and I was just drinking the Kool-Aid. And the reality is, you got to do what we say. And we did it yesterday. Understanding the financial side of a business. And that gentleman with us is Sam Sammy. If you don't know him, he's been the backbone of our financial literacy, if you will, learning and executing. And what's your take on the meeting? But at one point I got brought to tears, but that's
yeah. I think it's very on point with, I think, this year in general. We've continued to grow the business, and as I grow in my presidency of the company, I grow in influence, I grow in impact, and we're to a point where we're having discussions where I'm more involved in the finances of the business and the financial planning of the business, and we're able to make, investments, and we're able to make strategic moves in the future that allow us to set ourselves apart from competition and continue to grow exponentially. So really cool stuff.
Really, really well said. And for me to really be a passenger in that car now, just life-changing experiences every day. Last thing before we get to wake up music, Michael Ficara, you would be great because of your educational background. You would be really, really a strong proponent there. So I suggest we do it over steaks and cigars at the Dolphin game.
Would love that. And Mike, if you want to get involved this weekend, I'll reach out to you to talk about the pickleball event.
He is so cool, and the pictures he posts about the tailgate party that he throws
they look fantastic.
Fantastic, man. Just anybody who's cooking me a steak in the morning, man, I'm coming. So anyway, Shay, lots of good stuff. Wake this thing up. All right. I almost waited for walk-up music. I don't know why. It's like busy. Anyway, so we put this show together. We deliver what we believe to be relevant content, stuff that's actionable, stuff that's, touches a nerve. And we say, spread the word. It's not just our message. It's a message that you can share with your audience. Shay, show me Sherry Cedar. So Sherry was on a trip, and she said this morning's Nudelberg Huddle was about the magic of travel. This past weekend, I visited New York, and she talked about set destinations that she goes with her son, and that, and like talking about there was more to the post. She talks about eating her way through New York with pizza and bagels and stuff. But my point here is that everything we do is shareable, which if you remember, you talked about third grade. How about remembering kindergarten? One of the first things they teach you in kindergarten is to share. All of us forgot that. We go into the world and we forget that it's all about sharing. And if whatever gift you have, whatever knowledge, whatever thought you have, good or bad, if you're willing to share it, it will hit somebody between the eyes, and they will be grateful for doing that. So I actually asked Sherry to be on this morning as like a spot guest. But she is she's an ambassador at the NSU, ambassadors board. And today she gets recognized. So she was bummed, but we'll have her on again. Any thoughts there, Nudelberg?
Great. I mean,
All
I
right.
love every time somebody takes the opportunity to share what we talk about on the huddle with their audience, and knowing that that conversation sparked her reflection of her trip in New York. And I resonated with it immediately. Like, I was just in New York and we ate our way through the city with pizza and bagels and quality bistro, just so many great restaurants. And to me, it reminded me like, hey, we said we wanted to make that an annual thing. But we wait to put it on the calendar for next year, it's not going to get done. So we got to get it on the calendar for
I
next
actually want to go with you.
October.
I'm going with Jake for Thanksgiving to New York, but I want to do that with you next year. That looked like
Love it.
fun. So, anyway, so, I'm always looking and thinking and deciding what am I going to do with this day? Carpe diem, we only have, these hours in front of us. And, thank you to everybody that responded to our, survey. What's your pain point? Majority of people said I got problems with time management. Can you unpack time management? So we're going to talk about some of the things that you might be doing wrong. And then that'll certainly, if it rings a bell, that'll lead you to maybe answer the survey or jump into one of our sessions. But Nick Saban has a way of just putting things right in front of you that are so obvious, but they're so perfect. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, y'all ready for a lecture? Talk about the importance of nothing. You get up every day, you're entitled to nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. You could have talent, but if you don't have discipline and you don't execute, you don't focus, what do you get? Nothing. If you're complacent and not paying attention to detail, what does that get you? Nothing. So nothing is acceptable but your best. So we need to be, everything is determined by what you do and you trying to be your best so that you can build on positive performance so that, and that's the only thing. There should be nothing else, all right, but that, for everybody. So that's what we have to stay focused on. That's what we need to do. We need to not accept anything but our best in terms of what we're doing in preparation.
The guy is just a wizard.
Yeah, but like most people are not even going to listen to the last part of what he said. Most
Right.
people miss the last 3 sentences.
And what was
Nothing
those
but
three?
our best in preparation. Not in the game,
Right.
not in the results, not in the championships, nothing but our best in the preparation. And that's where I think most people go wrong, is they're just trying to do all the time and they're not spending any time in quality preparation. And so you're leaving an exponential amount of potential out there because you're not preparing.
I love that. I mean, because if you think about it, players practice all week long to play 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So where is your emphasis? If your emphasis is on the 60 minutes, you're going to lose all the time. If your emphasis is on preparing so that when you show up for that 60 minutes. So, I mean, we could go deep on all of his stuff alone. He could dominate the show, but like Jonathan Aaron said, there's nobody like him. And what he is doing this year with those kids, and after everybody wrote them off, is just magical in my mind. I've
They
watched it.
continue to write him off. They continue to say, "Oh, this is going to be the year that Bama goes away." And my text to Jake after the Bama game while he was in Germany was, "Boys, Bama is still here."
They ain't going away. It'll be very interesting. I think they have Ole Miss coming up, right?
I don't know who they have this weekend. Maybe Ole Miss. I don't know. They got
Rich,
over a big
Rich
one
hits
last
it
week.
right.
So.
Rich gives us practice. We talking about practice? Yeah, we talking about
Yeah,
practice. So
that's
listen, everybody needs somebody. Like the people that I get to work with, and how grateful they are to have me. And I yesterday spoke to Warren Struhl, who is my voice, thinking about I'm kicking the tires on another business. and he's my go-to guy. And I went to him and he gave me the green light. I was like, he goes, that's a good idea. Nobody's done that. So anyway, all good shit, all good stuff, but everybody needs somebody. You're going to love this song.
Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love. Someone to love.
Someone to love.
Sweetheart to miss.
Sweetheart to miss.
Sugar to kiss.
Sugar to kiss.
I need you. I need you. I need you. In the morning, when my soul's on fire. Sometimes I feel a little sad inside. When the baby mistreats me. Oh,
So I don't know. Do you remember the Blues Brothers?
Of course. Like
Okay.
when we would go to, I guess it was MGM Studios at that point, there was like a whole Blues Brothers show that they used to do. They used to come out on stage and right on the street. Yeah.
That's right.
How about that memory? How about pulling that out of the memory
That
bank?
was brought back a flash. They were quality musicians. I mean, the people that backed them up were some of the best, you know, in jazz. And so anyway, I thought that was a fun song. So as I promised, I want to continue this dialogue about time management. And I think one of the important things about time management is sort of understanding what you're doing wrong. Like if you can't, you know, if you can't identify what's wrong, you sail along going, it's not working, but I don't know what to fix.
I mean, that was really the whole point of the questionnaire that we sent out, or the survey that we sent out, was if you don't know what your pain point is, you can't possibly solve your problem. So like if we asked you the question and you didn't have an answer to that, it's a great opportunity for you to go dive in and figure out where the issues are. If you knew what the answer was and didn't respond, well, shame on you, because you missed an opportunity to get a free piece of perspective, or to get anything, to get a resource, to get a piece of information, to get something to help you.
So I had I had a conversation yesterday with one of the senior leaders at Aflac who is interested in one-on-one coaching, and she was vehement. She said, listen, you can give me all the testimonials you want in the world. I'm a unique person. I have unique needs. I want to know that you're going to be working with me and keeping my pace, not your pace. And I was like, that is absolutely brilliant. That's a good start to coaching. So specific to these mistakes, you got to read. We talk about it all the time, even if they're audible, whatever, you got to keep putting in this content. There's an author named Oliver Berkman. Oliver wrote a book called 4,000 Weeks. And he said in his book that if you live to 80, that amounts to 4,000 weeks. And what you do with those weeks is the same thing as, you know, so you can talk about day, week, month, you know, it flies by, man. It's November 9th, man. It totally, when I look at kids, this morning we had, before we got on, Shay had Chanel on, and you and Jules is like, I have a picture here, like when he was just becoming a human.
Nuggets.
Clothes and everything.
Nuggets.
It's like, it's crazy. So yeah, there it is, man. Look at that. So we were having a little baby fest this morning. Thank you, Shay. So, Mark, look at some of these mistakes. Did you get a chance to see them? Or?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake that people make in time management is not being aligned with really what their priorities or their goals are. Like we put out a post earlier this week. I put it out, and On the Ball put it out about time management. And I think, I think people make it way too complicated. And I think if you can stay very linear between priorities, goals, behaviors, and calendar, right? Like it's really that simple. What's the priority? What are the goals that are associated with that priority? What are the behaviors that are, aligned with that goal? And then are those behaviors on your calendar to keep yourself accountable to them? It really doesn't get any more simple than that. You can complicate it any kind of way with how many minutes and all of the other techniques that go into it. But if you're out of alignment in that direct order, you're jacked up. And so a lot of people don't know what behaviors are associated with the goal associated. So it's impossible to really put it on your calendar or focus on doing it if you don't really know what it takes to be successful in whatever the goal is that you're trying to do.
I think that goes hand in hand with identifying what your resources are to get it done. Like
Right.
if like especially like I focus on, pipeline development. This is where time management really marries to that. If you don't put in the time, you're never going to get the results. And then even if you said I'm going to devote the time, if you don't have the skill set or the tools or the knowledge, you're just not going to do it very well. So, the combination of this is I got to put the time aside. I think people fundamentally think that more is better. I think leadership says, if you're not getting it done, do more. So you do more shitty work, man. It's like
Right.
more shitty work burns you out. It's like, I think the world is revolving around you can do less, be an expert at it, and boom, you'll have the best life ever, no matter what you do. But people are constantly talking about do more.
So one of the big takeaways from yesterday's Broward workshop was if you want to start using AI, right? Any form of it, it really comes down to data, models, and applications. And if you don't have the right data, it's impossible to build the model or then get the application
Wow, that's
of the
deep.
model and get it to work. And so most people are operating with either the wrong data or paying attention to the wrong data points and collecting the wrong information. They're not really focusing on the KPIs, if you will, that really influence the outcomes. And so that's really important to think about as you look at your time management and defining what behaviors are. Look, one of the organizations we work with, right? They are still going to implement some of the tactics that have made them successful for decades. Even though they may not be the most efficient or effective anymore, it's a part of who they are. It's part of what they're going to do, and it's part of what they want to do.
And it works to some degree.
Correct. So it becomes then about scoping how much of that time you're going to do. Because if it's not the most efficient use of it, or there's other behaviors that you should be doing that would make that behavior more beneficial. And I'll use the exact example, knocking on doors. Knocking on doors is a really hard thing to do in today's world. Not a whole lot of people are welcoming to just walking in to your office. And really nobody wants to be interrupted that way anymore. So what are the things you could do that would help that time be more efficient? Number one, planning and preparation, all of that, but research. How could you create some introduction for yourself before you showed up so that you weren't walking in blind to somebody? How could you create some familiarity with that people in that building before you walk in there? So there's all kinds of behaviors that you could put into place that takes an inefficient behavior and makes it better. Still might not make it great, but it
Correct.
makes it better, right? And that's really what the 1% better mindset's about is how do you define what are the behaviors that get us to be better consistently?
I love it, dude. This is so much at the top of people's minds. If it's on your mind, you will get a specific nugget if you fill out the what's your pain point. The Shay, bring up the link again, please, if you would. Everybody will give you a minute to snapshot or take it, or if you want, reach out to us. That survey is for you. That is not
So
for us.
it's in the comments. It's in our newsletter. If you're not signed up for our newsletter, get signed up for that. It's in our content. We've posted about it. We'll continue to post about it for the next week. We want to know. We want to know what your pain point is so that we can create content around it, so that we can reach out to you to be able to help, so that we can do anything possible to help you get 1% better on a daily basis, because that's really what we're here to do. That's our passion. That's our drive. And that's why we show up here every morning.
Love it. Repeat for me, if you would, the three things you took away from Manish. Data,
models, applications.
wow, applications. That's just really good stuff. What an awesome Thursday. There's no live show tomorrow. We are.
We will repeat a huddler in the hot seat for you guys so that you still have an opportunity to catch a great guest on the show. But we will be hitting a rerun, and we will see you guys on Monday.
And to Chris Pollock, I hope that Mark and I are part of those 1,000 weeks.
Amen to that one.
we'll,
Thank you guys for joining
being a
us.
good
And being,
messenger, so.
thank you guys for being here with us for the whole week. We'll see you guys on Monday. Let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business.